ironic that I'm doing this on beauty and the most beautiful man because I am doing this live after my 8 a.m. meditation. I haven't brushed my hair, I haven't brushed my teeth, washed my face, eaten breakfast yet. Um, but I had a realization come through during my morning meditation, and I want to speak it before I forget or chicken out. Okay. One of the things I've been talking about forever, but like just even recently in my last live, I had some grief come up around beauty, physical beauty, and the loss of status and value in our society that comes with loss of physical beauty. That naturally comes with aging and uh, aging, I guess. Yeah. Or weight gain or whatever physical changes that could happen in a lifetime. Grief over that, grief over that, a loss of physical beauty when we emote, when we are authentic, when we're not smiling. When I was in a different state of consciousness, what I call my samadhi state, I was very present and well, I'm remembering now because I'm coming back to it in a more integrated state. But so I'm remembering that it's flipped. So instead of the mind directing where to go next, the energy, the being the being moves. And in order to allow the being to move in that flow, in that creative energy that some of us can tap into, and we feel like we are driving without the brakes on, and we are not the doer, or we're being danced. That, those are all words for the same sort of flipped experience where it's the being that is going and then the mind is narrating, um, as opposed and observing, as opposed to making the decision from the mind. And it's calculated, it's manipulated, it's an attempt to control reality. It's hard for me to speak this. I went live on YouTube for a reason, because in consensus consciousness, that's all they know. That's all consensus consciousness knows, is the mind directed living. And when I talk about this, not the doer or being danced, it's I can't imagine that they can understand what I'm talking about, and they probably would get afraid and then defensive that, this doesn't exist. Well, yeah, it exists because it exists. If you're watching this, you know it exists. Oh yeah, it exists. So in the samadhi state that I was in, I had a deepening in 2020. I mean, now I would call it, in a kundalini awakening. Back then I was just saying I was having ecstatic experiences, but this was the beginning of my very deep embodiment into the vessel, into the interstitial tissue, the lungs, the gut, the organs. the fascia, the spine. There's just, I was holding a lot of tension, chronic tension, which is a mind-body complex. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like there are thoughts, but it's a syndrome. And I've found that the most effective way to work with this syndrome is actually bottom up instead of top down, because those thoughts, they're not really tied to, well, reality, especially if you're talking about your actual lived experience. I mean, wouldn't you say that 99% of people have some sort of story in their mind about the world out there that is not actually in their direct way way of knowing, nor is it under their control? Well, that's, to some extent fantasy. Anyway, so for many reasons, like starting from the felt experience, moving outward in my wisdom is the most efficient and effective way to do it. It's painful, like literally painful. Like you literally have to feel your pain, but it's already there. See, that's the thing. That's what I believe. It's already there. It's just we have blocked it out like a refrigerator hum. Okay, well, this is why I'm talking about beauty and the most beautiful man. One of the things that I need to be deconditioning is my attachment to physical beauty. I'm not saying I'm not physically beautiful. I am gifted in the beauty department in that I was not born ugly, and I'm grateful for that. I also wasn't born looking like a model. Can I be grateful for that? I'm an acceptance of that. I think I'm cute. That honestly, I think I'm very cute. Or I'm a handsome woman. I have if I'm being honest with the way that I assess my physical appearance, is that I have an intelligent, cute physical appearance. And my body is, again, I'm very grateful for my body. I have very many beautiful things I love about my body that I find are beautiful. I find my shoulders and my arms beautiful. They're graceful. Um, my hands. Um, I mean, basically, yeah, my legs are quite beautiful. The thing that I don't love about my body is my middle, my gut, and I've been deconditioning it on purpose. But there's more, there's more. Oh, and then my neck and my aging. I'm self-conscious about my aging. Okay, so a lot of truth there. Vulnerable and deconditioning that. It runs very deep. This conditioning about needing to be needing to look a certain way as a woman. Um, okay. So, and that might be true for men too. Uh, I'm just speaking from my own experience. And I witness women, and obviously, I mean, everyone witnesses what women do for beauty. It's it's quite something. Yeah. Yeah. You're willing to go through a lot of pain. Okay. So this morning, I got in touch with fear that was very deep inside of me around hearing a truth or an experience that would have devastated me in a relationship that I was in. And this is all fantasy of mine. This is all fear inside of myself. Okay. That's the realization that I had this moment in this morning was that, yeah, this fear exists. It's inside of me. It's not actually inside the relationship or necessarily inside of him, but the fear was that this could happen, um, and I understand why I was so afraid of it now too, because this was a pattern. I think somebody just knocked at my door. Hold on. Okay, so when I was in deep samadhi, I was fearless or much less afraid about my physical appearance because I was so present and um, outside of the projection of worrying what other people were thinking about me that I was able to let a lot go about fear of me and what other people were thinking about my physical appearance. So it was easier for me to be naked around people. Like I had experiences doing that and not feeling ashamed. And I also, in my own experience in that samadhi state, it was very clear to me that there was another kind of beauty that arose from people that wasn't about their physical appearance. It was about their energy. And uh, I was very anchored into that. And that's what I wanted. I wanted energetic beauty over physical beauty. And I knew that I had energetic beauty. Um, I knew it. I had that. And so I felt confident in my beauty, I guess you could say, between whatever physical beauty I brought and the energetic beauty that I was bringing. Um, when I was in that flow state, most of the time, if not all of the time, to a certain extent, because I'm telling you, I'm not. I have been okay. What happened was I stopped allowing myself to be the doer, except in containers that I deemed safe, which was basically my own home, maybe five rhythms, maybe ecstatic dance, and occasionally like in groups like song circles and stuff like that. But very, very rarely, especially now, do I allow myself to be that open without being mind-led again. So sad. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, something's happening where I'm becoming into a more integrated state where I don't know, something's happening because I'm experiencing more of that flow state just surprisingly naturally in my daily life now again, but it's not constant. And I guess I'm switching back and forth. I don't know. Anyway, what I want to say is that this morning I was crying. I realized that I had a deep, deep fear of being rejected for not being beautiful enough, physically beautiful enough, or beautiful enough, I guess you could call it that. Um, and I needed reassurance. I couldn't ask for it because it felt like I was ashamed that I had that need. I couldn't ask for it because I was ashamed because I had that need. Plus, I didn't think that that need would get met in that relationship. So I just stayed quiet. And I felt terribly, terribly unsafe with both not being able to express the need and not believing that if I did, that it would be received and met. Um, but that's all fantasy inside of me. I never actually brought it into the relationship and tested it. Um, so that is the big learning, and that's very sad. Um, and it's something that I would really like to never repeat, um, where I am simply just believing that I am not beautiful enough for this relationship. I'm not physically beautiful enough for this relationship. And then therefore I feel insecure and um, am not able to ask and feel afraid. Yeah. And this, even before I did the morning meditation where all of this came through, there was some sort of meme that inspired me. It was about how some people have greatly changed our lives. And yeah, over these past 8 years, especially, I've been living in noticing and awareness and, you know, closer or farther, clearer or fuzzier levels of witnessing. And yeah, if you've been in my life over these past 8 years, you have changed my life deeply, deeply affected me. Taking you in and used our experience for my own personal growth, and I hope to be of benefit to others as well moving forward. And I hope that I was of benefit to you too in some way. All right.